And I wonder what time will bring me as I grow older. I think of all the things we used to be together. I wanna cry.
Coming up this week on Expressions, a classic concert featuring Donna the Buffalo.
Back to a place one might call home. Positive friction under the upper crust. What does all this Hollywood really have to do with us? True grit, timeless love. There's no reason to pretend. Let's get together and become natural once again.
Expressions, Friday night at 8:30 on WSKG.
Conscious evolution in front of your eyes. Conscious evolution in the back of your mind. Conscious evolution wants to spread the word. We're all busy learning on a learning curve. Conscious evolution in front of your eyes. Conscious evolution in the back of your mind. Conscious evolution wants you to spread the word. We're all busy learning on a learning curve.
Here's what's new this month with Passport.
I don't wish to sound boastful, but I am the only female detective in London. We are in competition, are we not?
Everyone he knew was in it. That's why the last chapter was taken. The answer's in the book.
Hello, pie in the sky. Fascinating what one turns up in all the nooks and crannies.
These and all your favorite shows are available with Passport on the PBS app. Download it today.
Anymore. There's the rain have to go.
Good evening and welcome to the Expressions Digital Director's Cut featuring Grown Ups. I'm Andy Piak, the show's producer, and I'm broadcasting live from WSKG Television Production Control. And over the next hour, we are going to take you behind the scenes of their recent Expressions episode. We're going to learn more about the group and show you some tunes that didn't make the broadcast episode. And we might even bring in some special guests. Now, if you missed Grown Up's performance, you can check it out by visiting wskg.org/expressions. And a link to the program will be posted in the chat box at the conclusion of the event. Now, you can also use the chat box to ask a question about the Expressions program or to Grown Ups, and we'll do our best to answer it in the next hour. Let us know what your favorite song from the band is, and who knows, maybe they will sing it barbershop quartet style at the end of the hour. So anyway, let's bring in the group right now. The Grown-Ups are Kit Kolpakis, Oliver Kammerman, Chris James, and Michael Micha. Thank you so much, guys, for not only joining us tonight, but for your amazing concert on Expressions. And I have to admit, before we started working together, I was really excited to hear that you guys were fans of Expressions, and I can only hope that you are still fans after your performance.
100%. Only greater fans now.
Well, I understood you had quite a viewing party. The episode premiered last Friday, and at least the grown-ups that are in state right now were able to attend a viewing party. I don't think I've ever seen an Expression. I saw a picture of it. I don't think I've ever seen an Expressions program on that large of a screen.
Yeah, Alyssa and her soon-to-be husband, fiance, killed it. It was so much fun. You should have been there. Yeah, it was so great for us to watch ourselves back. I've never seen such a high-quality video of us performing, and we were all just got to sit back and watch our own show. It was amazing.
Well, maybe next year we'll take over Luma and project it on like the courthouse or something.
Let's go.
Well, what were your expectations? I know you guys have been together for a few years, and I know this was your first broadcast gig. What were your expectations of the show? Before it all got going.
I think that for each show we just try to do things a little bit better and try to get better for the audience and for ourselves. So leaving the expectations up to, whatever, wherever we are is probably how I would describe it.
Well, I know you guys put in a lot of time beforehand. You actually came to the studio and practiced, I believe, the night before, which a lot of the bands don't get a chance to do. I'm wondering if that might have made you feel a bit more comfortable for the actual gig.
It definitely made me feel a lot more comfortable being able to have the rehearsal ahead of time and be able to get a stage sound the night before was really big. It was great to just get a feel for the space as well. We, performing in different venues, it's always kind of a toss up of what it's going to sound like and what you're going to be able to do with the space. So it was great being able to get in the night before and have a rehearsal.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't want to before we get too far, I do have to ask you, and I mean, I've known you guys for a while, and I don't know if I've ever actually asked this question, but I do need to ask, how did you come up with the band name Grown Ups? Because I have to say, the 10-year-old Andy Piak would have been my least favorite band, because as a little kid, Grown Ups is the last thing you want to hear. So how did you guys come up with that name?
The way I remember it, I was writing down a bunch of band names and trying to try them out with everybody, and I feel like there were certainly a few that got shot down, and it was riffing on band names, seeing what felt good. And for me, a lot of I'm 32 years old. A lot of the lyrics that I write are just kind of reflecting on life and where I'm at, and I'm getting just a tiny bit older, and for me that's where it comes from. Maybe it's a little cheeky, are we grown-ups, are we not? I think that was the thought behind it for me, but maybe other people have their own meaning that they've put on it.
Well, I remember talking to my dad a few years ago, and he told me, finally, he let me in on a secret that he had known for years, and he kept this from me even when I was a child. And he said, being a grown-up, you're still really a kid. And, if he had only told me that when I was 10, maybe I wouldn't have been afraid of the Grown-Ups name. So now I can definitely understand your point. And before we get too far, why don't you guys just mention what instruments you play and you're part of the band. Kit, why don't we start with you?
Name's Kit. I play bass, guitar, piano, do vocals, and I'm the principal songwriter along with Oliver.
Oliver?
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't sure if you're gonna keep pointing who was talking next. Yeah, also
Come on, we went through this during
Dude,
rehearsal. You
screen's
guys
too big
nailed
for
it.
yeah, guitar, voice, and bass guitar.
Okay, Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris James, and I play guitar and bass.
And also, you do a heck of a job running their social media accounts too.
Yes,
from what I
thank
hear.
you, Andy. Thank you for saying that. Yes, Chris.
Thank you so much.
And
Yeah.
Shared effort. We certainly share the responsibility of the creative part of that and the strategies and whatnot. And I'm just the middle person that puts it on there for us.
I would think.
Modest.
Yeah, that is very, very modest.
Yeah.
Well, I would think for a band of your your size and being in Binghamton, that's got to be a huge part of being part of the band. It's not really just making music anymore and showing up at the Rathskeller to play on a Friday night. You really have to do all that, do all that extra work. I'm sure.
We reached out to the Rathskeller and they haven't gone back to us. We're just aching to play there.
I would love to drink a Scorpion Bull.
Oh man!
All right, Mike.
My name is Misha. I play drums, and I do along with everyone in a collaboration. I've recorded the 2 albums, and we all mixed and mastered them together. Actually, Matt Eber is another local engineer, mastered the most recent album.
That's right, you guys. I believe it was the same weekend that you played the show. I think it was the first Saturday in June that we played the gig here at the station. I think you released your latest album just a day prior to that, I believe.
Right before.
That was a nice bit of synergy. I don't think we necessarily planned it that way, but that's great. Obviously, yeah. Check out their albums. You can stream them on Spotify. They have 2 studio records, Great Big Lies and Nightlight. So definitely check those out. Did you have any particular challenges in playing in the TV studio? Anything that you didn't quite expect, either during the rehearsal or did you go through the rehearsal and oh, this is going to be a breeze, and then you come into the actual recording and there were a bit more challenging aspects to it?
Can I go Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Misha.
I was gonna say, I remember them, Chris and Oliver and Kit mentioning to remember to remind themselves to not look directly into the camera. And thankfully, that was nothing I had to really worry about being in the back. I didn't really see any of the cameras, so it wasn't really a factor for me. But I imagine that would be a slight difference doing something like this.
It definitely was a new experience playing in front of cameras and just adjusting and orienting ourselves to that. On stage, we are so active with each other and looking at each other and, changing our body language to make sure that the cameras are, we can be on camera, cameras can see us and still put on a good show. And I think, once we took, behind the scenes when we were playing, we played 2 hours behind the scenes, and then we took a break, I think, in between there when we changed the set around. Mm-hmm. And just asking each other, just how are we doing? Are we making sure that we're facing cameras? Can the camera see us? Asking the floor director some input and advice on that as well.
Well, usually the way I like to do it is to make the bands feel comfortable and you have them, just do their own thing, and then hopefully we can, follow along. And I think for the most part, you guys did a great job of, being yourselves, but then also, doing your best to
Cool.
make sure. I always remember watching The Doors as a kid, and it amazed me that Jim Morrison performed with his back to the crowd for the early parts of his career.
Well, he used to do that at the Whiskey a Go-Go too, I think, like there and other places. Yeah.
So I appreciate that no one did that, but I think I want to say overall for this show, I think we had 6 cameras altogether. We had 3, I think 3 or 4 manned by actual operators, and then a couple. We had one right by the drum kit, which that might have been my favorite shot. Might not have been Mike's favorite shot, since he got to see the back of himself the whole time.
It looked nice. It looked nice.
I thought you looked very fit. So, but just seeing those drum kit, I just love being able to be able to cut right when you really pound those drums like that. That's so cool to be able to cut right on the beat like that. So
on Moonshine too, with the build up and the intro. and seeing that
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah,
facing
yeah.
him, that's such a cool shot.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
that
And
will be-
Moonshine, that's we're gonna play a little bit of that later, but that's something that made the actual broadcast episode. So definitely check out their episode. You can catch that at wskg.org/expressions. And of course, if you have a question for the band, let us know. But I do think we're going to show one of the extra songs that didn't make the broadcast right now. And when we get back, we'll talk a little bit more about their new studio record, Great Big Lies. And here is a song from that record, Pieces. Let's roll it.
Wish I told you that I need you for the times I feel alone. And I wish I told you that a sacrifice is less than you deserve. I wish I told you that the only thing you need you already own. I wish I told you that we all regret our past missteps and falls. I don't know the pain
Grown Ups performing their original song pieces on the Expressions digital director's cut. Nice job. Nice job. And that song is off the Great Big Lies album, correct?
Correct.
That is correct.
Yep.
And so that got released in June. Do you want to tell us how long you guys spent working on that record?
Anyway.
No,
long time, right?
Long time on it. Yeah. So proud of the record, and yeah, I hope that our hard work shows on it. Yeah, we must have started. Misha, you might need to chime in on this. I feel like we started talking about it back in like October, November. We did some really cute like band sessions. Misha is not only our drummer but sound engineer and also like amazing art director, collage artist, and we had these adorable brainstorming sessions where we cut up all these old National Geographic magazines, and we were talking
that was
about
wonderful.
Like, yep, I forgot about that.
And concepts and all these things, and we recorded it.
Yeah,
that was so much fun. I remember that the first album we had Kit and Oliver had a lot of material. We got together, formulated it, put it together, and then we basically together picked a collage that I had already made. With the second album, because of all this new material, we had a lot of time, so we got together over several months and brainstormed ideas of images. I brought a bunch of magazines and books, and we leafed through them and talked about concepts from the album and how it could be represented visually. So it was really cool for all of us to have a piece in making the collage that ended up becoming the album art.
Yeah, this is the first album that I'm actually involved in writing some of the guitar parts and some of the strategy and the artwork and things with Misha and the guys. I think we started recording that. We had an amazing show at the Kilmer Mansion the end of September of 2021. And then we went right into the studio. I think the next Thursday was our next practice, and we just shifted right into recording. And
little known secret, that show was recorded. And we're just sitting.
We do have all that live footage. From
We've been sitting on that for a while.
And
If only
I just want to add one more thing.
If only someone released a live concert for you guys this year.
Right.
What's up, Oliver?
It might be in the works. There's some ideas happening around.
I just wanted to add one more thing for Andy's question about how long it took. We recorded from November. It must have been through April, or at least late March. We were still finishing the album, and Kit was kind of still formulating his plans of moving down to Florida, and Justin can speak to it more. The horns came in sort of near the tail end of the album, but then when we got to release the album and be on Expressions, it was, what's that, November to March, 5 months at least we were working on it. So it was such a fun culmination to get to celebrate by playing at Expressions. And I guess it's fun to be on now with you and chatting with everyone and just reflecting on the whole experience.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. It is quite a record. How do you compare it to your first record? Like how long did it take you to put together your first album?
The difference is, having Chris in was definitely a huge difference. I mean, but on the first album, we really had to fill the space with 3 people. We've been talking forever about adding a guitarist. So I think the biggest difference for me, other than maybe just the growth of songwriting, was adding Chris and having his talent to the equation.
Thanks, Kit. Can I piggyback off of that for a moment? So I met Oliver first. Oliver was hanging out with me. We met through a mutual friend, and he asked for, he's like, "You're interested in playing in Grown Ups?" And when they finally brought me in to just kind of jam and sort of audition with them, I think almost within the first 2 or 3 weeks, Kit had brought Moonshine and Pieces in. So we've been working on that since, I don't know, guys, probably August or September of 2020 is when we started writing for the songs for that album.
So over 2 years now. Well, definitely shows.
A lot of the rehearsals during COVID too. Like COVID hit, there was a few 2 or 3 months of downtime, and then we started to get back into the studio. And a lot of this material was worked on through that time. And I remember our first show back at Ransom Steel was our first show with Chris, and all of this new material was such a great feeling to get back out after so long of not performing and not seeing live music.
Well, it is funny you mentioned that, because that was the first time I think I saw you guys live, and that was my first concert, like post COVID. You know, like it was the first time that we, you know, like I was there with a lot of work friends, and my bowling team was there, you know, like, and it just felt so good to hear live music again. And like, yeah, you guys like absolutely crushed it.
That was a great show.
Just back on the album for a second. I've played in bands since I was 14 or 15 years old, and I've recorded, I don't know, not that many, but at least, I don't know, six or seven albums in my whole musical career, and I'm by far the most proud of this album of any one I've worked on. I think there's so many touches on it, from the kind of talking musical interludes we do to the artwork that we all collaborated on, the concepts. Echoing what Chris said, Kit, I thought, emerged kind of even next level as much more of a songwriting force on this one. Justin and the horns, Alyssa joining. There was just so many things that came together. And I was telling my little brother, who's a huge music fan, it felt to me like our first album, Nightlight. I'm super proud of it, but felt like JV to Varsity with this album. I just feel like this one has way more of a polish and a punch, and dare I say cohesion, even though we had all those talks about the songs possibly not cohering enough.
Yeah. At the beginning of the album, we talked about, like, should we write songs that are all kind of within the same genre? And then, I don't know. I feel like, at least Oliver, you can attest to this. I feel like all my songs are way different from each other. So I like Moonshine is like over here for grown-ups. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys do have a great variety of of tricks in your bag, so to speak. Like, it all kind of comes back to like the indie rock, but like you almost like are in a few different genres, you know, just in there. But you did mention the guest musicians, and one of them was Alyssa Crosby. And like I mentioned earlier, you'll have to watch the broadcast episode to see her complete performance of Moonshine, but we're going to bring her into the stream in a second. And so we have to give you just a little snippet of her performance. So let's roll that right now.
Johnny and his lover are trading for another. If you go down that road, that's why I tell you, stay north of the river, stay away from Moonshine Road, stay away. Better stay away.
Once again, Paul on the harmonica.
Come
that was
on.
truly, that is so good.
For us, come on, please.
Like, that is like usually I don't mind being in this room, like directing, kind of just being by myself during the show. But like after rewatching that, I'm like, man, I really wish I was in the studio listening to that one. That was well, let's add Alyssa to the stream, and let's get her thoughts. There's Crosby. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hi.
So why don't you guys just kind of give us the backstory of how like you ended up guesting on their record, and then appearing on the Expressions episode.
So basically I met Oliver through a mutual friend. And we both discussed our, musical backgrounds and what we're currently doing in music. And he kind of heard a couple clips of what I do, and I heard some clips of what he was doing with grown-ups. And he was like, I really got to get you into the studio with the guys, and I want to introduce you to everybody. And it kind of snowballed from there, and we've all kind of just become like good friends, family, musical family, and we're all just kind of doing our thing now. I don't know. It's fun.
It was, well, yeah, throughout the entire show, you could kind of see the great chemistry that you guys have together. I mean, that's what I think I mentioned in the show open, like you're a band, but I definitely could tell that the friendship and the camaraderie probably almost comes before that. So, well, what was it like working? How did you decide like what songs to have her vocals on, guys?
So like most of the songs that I write, I actually looking for a female lead. So that was very easy. It was like, take whatever you want, Alyssa, and take my voice and put your voice on.
I think we were all just so excited to work with Alyssa too. I remember one of the first times she came and sang in the studio. I think she was closing her eyes while we were singing, and I remember just looking at everyone else in the studio going like, totally mugging. And I guess just to make it a horrible compliment party on Alyssa, I guess even beneath just having a great voice and being a great performer, I think part of what makes a great band is being able to, like you're saying, Andy, be friends, but be communicative. And Alyssa's just always been a good communicator the whole time I've worked with her, very real and honest and upfront. So no, it's been a total pleasure having her jump into the group and bring her skills to our sound. It's been an amazing collaboration.
And she's writing songs with us now.
Yeah.
So nice.
Well, how long have you been singing, Alyssa?
Oh, since I could speak, pretty much. I know that's like the cliche answer that every like singer says. Really though, I grew up singing. My mom had a karaoke business when I was little, and I pretty much like grew up in dive bars doing karaoke since I was a child. So, like, fix my mom sound.
Wait, hold on. Cut the live feed. Cut the feed.
Much more innocent than it sounds, but I grew up singing. I grew up, my family sings and performs, so it's just kind of been in my nature. I did theater all through high school, and yeah.
What other groups are you involved with besides Grown Ups?
I have a cover band locally in the Binghamton area called Wild Card, and we do a lot of like classic rock, modern pop music, pretty much everything that you can dance to, we do. And I'm the lead singer of the band, and we play all over the place. A lot of local bars, restaurants. We do private parties, we do weddings. We have a lot of fun, and I've been with them for about 6 years. So it's kind of nice, I have that side of my little musical venture, and then I also have been working with Grown Ups, and that's kind of brought out a new side of me doing original music. And now we're like talking about writing new stuff, and it's bringing out, my more creative side, and I'm learning a little bit more about myself as an artist, as a singer and a writer. So it's awesome.
And of course, if anyone out there has any questions for Alyssa or the group, please send them in the chat, and our chat moderator will get them to us. All right, let's see. Where are we? All right. Well, we're going to let Alyssa go for now, but if you do have a question, we can bring her back in the stream. I promise. So we thank Alyssa for joining us tonight and for her amazing Expressions performance. And I do have to say, it might not be the last time you guys see her on the program this year. That's all that I'm at liberty to say. But that's what they call a tease in the TV industry. Now, Alyssa wasn't the only guest who performed with Grown Ups during the show. They were also backed by a 3-piece horn section. And let's check out a bonus song featuring Paul McDonald on saxophone. And Paul was also the guy playing the harmonica on that Moonshine clip. And that added added a whole nother element to that song, too.
Yeah, crazy.
Tim O'Brien on trumpet, and the Bone Father, Justin Miller, on trombone. Here is Loveless.
Why, oh why has my love left me so? I'm saying, oh why? Is there something that I could have done? my own, 'cause baby, I'm crying. You and me together, run away and never settle for another, baby, I'm trying. You and me, can't you see, we belong to be in harmony together. But you were different plans, world in your hands, had to be the one who shines brighter. Got me saying why, oh why, has my love left me so? I'm saying oh why, is there something that I could have Now I'm all alone, sitting by the phone, hear the dial tone, trying to reach you. I don't really care what you did, and I tried to tell you that I will forgive. I'm sorry for what I don't know, that I'm the one, always be the one that you can come and run to and trust in. Hanging by a thread, twisted in my bed, running through my head, memories of loving. They got me saying why, oh why, has my love left me so? I'm saying oh why, is there something that I could have Baby, why'd you go and leave me? Well, as far as I could tell, we was happy together. No, I know. We had our disagreements about things, but as far as I can tell, that's what love is, more than a kiss, agony and bliss. Well, when a miss, try to work it out through the pain. Now, baby, I'm begging, say why, oh why, has my love left me so? I'm saying why, oh why, is there something that I could have done? I said why, oh why, has my love left me so? I'm saying why, is there something that I could have done?
Kit. Kit, are you okay?
You're not going to see that on Expressions every week.
No,
All
you're
right.
not. Well, I do have to say, like, we had that segment earlier where you guys talked about always facing the camera, and all I'm seeing in these videos now are like backs, and you have your side turn talking to the horn player. So
You got to leave them wanting more. That's the key, Andy.
what I mean, yeah, that was quite. Have you and the trumpet player made up? I think that's what our audience wants.
It's a roller coaster of a relationship.
It's a long distance relationship now, so it's even harder.
But anyway, I mean, yeah, hearing the horns mixed in with the rock and roll, it just will never not be really, really cool. And let's bring in Justin Miller right now, who might have performed one of the first trombone solos in Expressions history. Justin, welcome to the program.
Hey, how's it going?
How was it like playing with these guys? I'm assuming you were, I'm sure you were on the album too. So maybe, yeah, you can just give us a little backstory about how you guys met and started playing.
Yeah. We were playing a show. I was playing a show with another band at the Bundy Museum back in October last year. And this band opened up for us, and I knew the drummer. I'd listened to some of their songs on the previous album, and I thought they were great. And I could hear horns on the songs. I could just tell they needed some horn. So being a horn player, you kind of have the ability to go up and say, hey, can I be in your band? Because, I'm a horn player. You can add to your band.
That does tend to work.
If you're a drummer, you can't just go up and be like, I'm going to be in your band. Sorry, we got a drummer. So, so we started talking about collaborating just for the album, just to add some arrangements to the album, maybe add to a few of the songs that were obvious that, we're calling for horns. So we slowly worked our way in. Took a couple months to get into the studio, and it was interesting. Like personally working with a new group, trying to figure out the dynamics of songwriting, collaborating, not stepping on toes, not adding parts on top of carefully arranged parts, because a lot of the songs were pretty much done. But it's a testament to how open these guys are to collaboration and making their stuff the best it could be. They were great to work with. When we're done, we all just decided we couldn't stop playing together because we just got along so well. The music was great. We just felt good vibes, both musically and personally. So, it was a real nice surprise to start working with these guys. And I've played and worked with Tim O'Brien and some other bands. And Paul and I have been friends for such a long time, and we just hang out and play together. So I assembled a small team. And then, so that's how we got together.
Andy, I got to say too that Justin, Tim, and Paul are like the easiest to work with. Not only are they just super laid back and open to ideas, and that sometimes working with a band, you're sometimes giving criticisms to each other, but they also just come in with great ideas. Like me and Oliver thought maybe we'll have to write parts for these guys and we'll show them what we want, and then they just came in with the ideas, and it was like, yeah, you do your thing because you sound good.
I was going to ask, like, how hard was it to kind of incorporate the horns into the sound? It sounds almost like the horns were just like the frosting or the top layer of frosting almost on the record. So you mentioned that you didn't really write them, the horn section themselves kind of just look at the songs and decided how to go about it.
Oliver, you want to take that one?
I almost feel like it's more of a Justin ball.
I was going to say that I remember the way we kind of did it was the horns had some ideas ahead of time, and they came in with a few songs that they thought would sound good with horns, and we had some that we thought would sound good with horns, and it turned out there was a lot of overlap there. And so we actually spent one night per song, and they would come in, record some parts, and then we would kind of talk about it, throw some other ideas around, and then basically they would come in and over a 4-hour span of a session, just refine the horn parts a little bit more. But it was basically the horn lines that they had were the ones that ended up on the album.
Well, and I think Oliver said it best too when he says like it's cheat codes. That's a good way to describe it, because it's like any song with those guys, I think Justin, personally for me, my favorite with you guys is Missed Again, because I think before that song without horns, pretty good song. We're all doing the most, but with you guys, just a whole other game. So
that's a fun song. Yeah, that's one of my favorites actually.
And live with the three of you is just that elevates. That's so important for Kit, Misha, Oliver, and I. When we were playing just the 4-piece, like we pride ourselves so much in putting on a live show, and we talk about it a lot. Like when we're rehearsing for the live show, whether it's certain moves or our set list, how we're gonna appear to the audience or what we want to portray. Bringing these guys on, not only are they so easy to work with, they become personal friends of ours outside of the band. And when we go live, that energy is just shared and elevated from everybody to the last show we played live. The last show we played live with them, we had 11 people on stage. And that energy was just
crazy,
swirling in that room and among us on stage. That was a really hard show for us to end that night.
It's like Chris is wondering, like, darn, should I have brought a horn?
little behind the scenes info. The AC in that room was being worked on, so there was no AC that night, and that room got hot, but it was fun. It was sweaty.
Like being in your studio, Misha. Good time.
Yes, exactly. If you've
yes,
ever been to
yeah.
a band, you would know it gets warm in that space in the summertime.
I was going to mention, if you watch the broadcast episode, because we didn't, put the songs in, as you recorded them, because we recorded all the stuff. Like when we recorded them, we decided to record the stuff with everyone on stage first and build down from there. So like if you were in the studio that day, you saw the very last show that you saw in the episode actually second, performed on stage. So it's a little bit, there's a little inside Expressions baseball for you. What you see on the show is obviously not, how it was recorded. And yeah, it was I think we were fortunate that it was actually a little cool for
cool.
June 3rd. It probably could have been a lot
It was a cool day.
because we had probably about 50 or 60 people in the audience, 10 or 11 people on stage, hot television lights. That did make me feel about being in this room, which is always very well air conditioned.
You gotta like blow the audience score up. There's like at least 400 people there. At least it was crazy.
Yes,
I don't know.
Yeah, don't tell the fire department. Don't tell the Vestal Fire Department. Yes, you're right.
I added audience sound, like the Live Kiss album. It's the studio magic. It happens.
Yeah, it was like I added in. You're right. I added in I can CGI in some more audience members.
The whole show was CGI. We never even played.
Just CGI like it's NBA 2K or something.
We'll just put a bunch of people with Hawaiian shirts for sure.
Can we just talk about how you threw the Bone Father out there before Justin?
Before the show started,
Andy,
that was what you guys. I believe that's what Justin said his new nickname was. So I thought.
It's funny how you get a name and it's given to you. So now you officially gave it to me.
Justin is quite a modest.
I'd love if you just made that name up for yourself.
Kid the great looking full packet. That's what I want to be called, Andy. Sorry.
I just appreciate everyone not making any jokes that might turn this live stream into a PG-13 affair. So
not yet.
Definitely.
Andy. The stream is not done.
Oh no! All right, you know what we're gonna have to do? We're gonna have to play our final bonus track. And Justin, we thank you so much for supplying your great trombone performance, your great bone fatherness for the group and on the album. And looking forward to working with you again down the road for sure.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So we have one more bonus song for you tonight, and I have to say it is mighty groovy. So feel free to get up and dance to this one. Let's roll it.
Been so lost, yeah, I don't know why. Been trying so hard, I'm trying just to try. Yeah, I've been squeezing so tight that I can't hold on now. Watch the whole world sway. Then I see you dancing so easily. You're barely moving. There's not much that you need. So gentle now, sway so gentle now, sway so gentle now, sway so so gentle. Oh, 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 you know we do it like we do it. You know we do it like we do it. And then we do it all again. You know we do it like we do it. Yeah, do it like we do it. And then we do it all. We get lost together. There's no reason why. No destination. It's just the look in your eye. Yeah, but the tide is creeping in, starts touching our toes now. You know that we don't mind, let it come, let it go. We just sway so gentle now. Sway so gentle now. Sway so gentle now. Sway so gentle. Oh, oh, you know we do it like we do it. Yeah, yeah, do it like we do it. And then we do it all again. You know we do it like we do it. Do it like we do it, like we do it, and we do it again. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, yeah.
Grown-ups performing Sway So Gentle. Mike, I have to ask about the drum brushes. It always reminds me of Dave Grohl on the Nirvana Unplugged with the little brushes.
Yeah, I've those. Love using those brushes. I've had those for a long time. If you look closely, they're completely torn apart. I probably should get some new ones, but I'm cheap, so I probably am not going to do that.
Well, when you get that little mat you put on there
Christmas
too.
present.
Yeah, maybe if there's anyone listening who wants to give me a good Christmas present, could use some new brushes, steel brushes, please. Thank you.
Santa's listening, I'm sure.
So Kid,
He is, right?
Kid, I'm assuming you wrote that one. Any?
No, that's an Ollie. That's an Ollie special.
No,
Yep.
well, any particular meaning behind that song?
Yeah, there's a total story behind it. I was always really interested in fans and people watching in shows. And when I was in college, I was playing in a couple bands, and when I wasn't playing a show, I was always trying to be a great fan at other people's shows. And I remember I was at this one show, and this band was just playing really quiet, and I was kind of trying to dance really hard, and it totally wasn't working. And I remember just turning and seeing this girl who was kind of a friend of mine, and she was just dancing like almost not at all, just moving a little bit. And I remember she kind of beckoned me over, and we started dancing together, and it kind of like unlocked something for me. I was like, oh, maybe I don't have to go so hard every minute. I can just kind of like enjoy the moment.
I think that song is a grown-up's favorite too, just amongst us to play. And I don't know, I like the vibe of it. It's almost like smooth, almost like country. I think of it almost as like Eagles-ish.
I was about ready to make a Motown comparison a little bit, you know, like in the chorus a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I love playing that song live. It's tough. I think kind of what Oliver was saying. When we put a live show together, we want to try and always make it seem like it's, you know, big and exciting and extravagant. And so we kind of reach for these bigger songs. Exactly.
Like that, right there.
Like that, exactly. We try and harness that moment. But there's times, I think, when soft music can be so powerful. And it's really hard sometimes in a bar setting. If you play a soft song, there's going to be bar chatter over it. You know, it's hard to, as a performer, to really get into that mellow headspace. And it was wonderful to be able to do that for Expressions because it was a great environment for it. And yeah,
you probably needed a shusher. Did you have a shusher in the audience?
We did not. We had one on retainer, but that
was not in our rider.
You didn't give the signal. You didn't point and be like, okay, that person doesn't need to be shushed. Well, there is nothing more annoying than when, you know, you're at a concert and someone's played a soft song and you got some, you know, knucklehead behind you, you know, like chattering, you know, about their social media feed. But, you know, that's going to happen at a concert, unfortunately.
We'll usually say something like, hey, this is a quieter song. You know, if you want to grab a drink, now might be a good time so you can come back recharged. But I don't know, Misha, I think we've been shushed ourselves before at a show. We know the other side of it. Being shushed is the worst.
I have not been shushed. I think that was all you, but no, I was going to say actually at Kit's last show that he played with us before he moved down to Florida, it was at Atomic Tom's, and I specifically remember playing Sway and looking out and seeing a bunch of people slow dancing. Like Paul and his wife were slow dancing, and I think Kit's mom and dad were slow dancing. It was so sweet, and just it was a nice moment to see, to be a part of.
Well, I was going to ask you guys like what's in your future, but maybe Grown Ups, the wedding band.
Wedding bands do make a lot of money.
Hot on that idea.
No, I think this summer we're all just kind of taking in the summer and enjoying it. We were frequenting, I was at least, and some of the other members of the band frequenting some open mics, just trying to get out and play around. But Kit leaving was a huge loss.
Yeah, I was gonna bet. I'm sure most of the people on the stream like know this, but yeah, at the height of your potential success, unfortunately, real life stepped in Kit's way.
Wow.
You can see how they feel about it.
Perfect. Yeah. Clearly, Kit didn't want to hang out with us anymore. That was the face he was making about 90% of the time.
So Kit actually moved to Florida, but what does that mean for Grown Ups? I don't think that necessarily means the end of the band. Correct?
No, totally correct.
And, I hope not. Yeah,
we're looking to get back in the working routine, and I think the wheels are already starting to turn. Chris and I are both working in public school, so we're kind of, I think, getting back into the groove of that. But no, totally looking to keep on writing. Alyssa seems interested in joining on as maybe a little bit more of a songwriting collaborative partner. and Kit's talking about coming back for a Christmas show maybe. And
absolutely. Not a maybe. That's not a maybe, boy. That's a 100% absolutely. Always love to play with you guys. I would say my family, just family. No strings attached. So
December reunion show with Kit. We've got a new song, maybe 2 songs already written new for the next project. We're back in the studio now. Alyssa's writing with us. One of those new songs is Alyssa's. So yeah, we've been asked a lot. Did you guys break up? When Ollie and I have been at open mics, like, did Grown Ups break up? Like, we have not broken up. We are still very stronger. Sorry, Kit.
Ouch. Okay.
No, we're still going strong. We're looking at the songs for the next album, next project, whatever that's going to look like. It's exciting to see what's coming. And Kit is a dear friend of ours, and will always be. Our attitude in Grown Ups is like, Kit's a big part of our band, and will forever be a part of that history in this band. And we send him things that we're working on all the time to get his input and his feelings. And anytime Kit will be back in town, we're gonna, try to throw a show if we can.
Well, or you guys could all go down to Florida Maybe maybe all of us can go down to Florida. We could do an Expressions on location.
Come on down. It's pretty warm down here.
Put it on the calendar.
There you
Andy.
go.
I'll call up my in-laws. Maybe we can go to one of the squares in the villages.
I'll only do it if there's your sister.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
All right.
Please.
Just be
Please,
careful
let's make
driving
that
anywhere
happen.
down here.
So where can people go to find out information when you guys are going to play your Christmas show or when you release music? Can you tell people where to find you?
Yeah, Chris James, take over.
You can find us at grownupsband.com, at grownupsband on Instagram and Facebook.
Well, there you go. All right. I think that's going to wrap up tonight's Expressions Digital Director's Cut. I want to thank Kit, Oliver, Chris, Mike, Alyssa, and the Bone Father for joining us this evening. And a reminder that you can watch their entire Expressions episode by visiting wskg.org/expressions. And a link to that program is being provided in the chat. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Thank you, Andy.
WSKG.
Thank you so much, man.
Andy.
Yep.
Follow them.
Thank you,
support them,
WSKG.
please. They're so good for our community.
Appreciate that. Hey, I got a little bit more in my script though. Don't worry, you guys are still coming on because I know you guys love to listen to podcasts. And if you want to hear your entire performance, you can download the Expressions Director's Cut podcast featuring all of the tunes from Grown Ups performance back in June. And again, a link to that is being provided in the chat. You can also visit yourpublicradio.org to find this and many of your other favorite podcasts and streams at WSKG. I want to thank Alyssa Micha and Patrick Holmes for their expert behind the scenes help this evening. And we'll be back next month with something completely different. A new episode featuring the Manhattan Contemporary Chamber Ensemble. Until then, enjoy classic Expressions concerts every Friday evening at 8:30 on WSKG TV. Thanks so much for watching. This is Andy Piak wishing you a great night.